Another edition of Lumberjack Logic. Hey, it's always good to see you people. Honestly, I've had a lot going on. I've had to move my mom, and there's a number of things going on, and uh, I'm probably not going to be able to produce quite as much content here over the next bit. And I'm going to have to take some breaks. There's just a number of things going on that I can't get into, but I thank you all for listening. But this is important. I had to make a video about this because obviously the Second Amendment is under attack, and we're going to talk about that. I will mention my sponsor. I always do. I love Mike Lindell. I love My Pillow. I just love it. I love my Pillow. Actually, they got a really good deal going on their jammies right now. They are the softest, most wonderful pajamas. JT, good to see you on. Immortal Legend, good to see you on from Ohio. Crash Bandit, Washington. Yeah, please do smash that like and chime in with where you're from. Lisa, good to see you. So many Kansas. I was just down in Kansas. I actually had to move my mom from Wichita, Kansas, back up to Minnesota. So, anyways, but let's get right into the Second Amendment. Look, never kid yourself. The Second Amendment was enshrined in our Constitution for one specific purpose, and it was not hunting. Okay? I love hunting. You guys know that. I go hunting all the time. I love hunting. I call my friend. We want to go shooting this week. You know what I encourage you all to do as a sign of protest to all their nonsense? Go out and buy some guns today if you got some extra cash. Seriously. And, for Joe Biden to call 9mm handgun ammunition some high caliber, like amazing thing that blows out long. Does he not understand? I mean, 9mm, good night. Who hasn't shot a 9mm? I mean, they're little. Okay, this is this long. They act like the AR, well, he calls it a 14, right? But anyways, they act like that's just like, oh my gosh, the most deadly, craziest thing. It's a 22 caliber bullet. Many of you probably shot with a little 22 caliber, when you were a kid. 22, it's like teeny. The only difference between a 223 round and a 22 is one's rim fire, one's center fire, and one's got more powder behind it. That's it. Okay? Yeah, Lisa, go get one today. I'm serious. And yeah, get more ammo, get whatever. They are trying to, the second protects the first. The Second Amendment protects all else. If we did not have that, we would be in Australia, New Zealand type situations right now. Okay? Look, none of these are realistic. Why is it that the knee-jerk response from these jerk-off politicians is always to attack legal gun owners? If they were serious about it, they would prosecute gun crimes. I don't know if you guys all remember this, but if we go back to the end of Obama's administration, one of the things that he did was issued over 1,000 pardons there towards the end. And I know, many presidents issue pardons, but there was a common theme between all of these. These were, drug dealers, gang leaders, and people that had used guns in violent crimes. If they were serious about gun crimes and actually prosecuting gun crimes, then we would see change. But they're not. Why are they not? Well, see, what this does is it manufactures a continuous crisis. Okay? That's all they're interested. Okay? Manufacturing a continuous crisis so they can maintain this narrative so that they can take things away so that the people never rise up against these illegitimate freaks. Okay? Seriously, that's what this is all about. I mean, look, my gosh. I mean, all my friends own guns. Are you kidding me? They're not out there committing crimes. Okay? It's absolute complete BS. The ATF, the FBI, all these are just fake organizations anyways. The FBI does not have a congressional charter. I don't know how courts allow them any jurisdiction whatsoever. And yet it still goes on. But, the answer to solving gun crime is to take guns away from law-abiding gun owners? Because you think that criminals are going to turn it in? They already own them illegally. This is like the dumbest thing ever. And then it's like ghost guns. Like, remember Mater and the what was that movie, Cars? Ghost light. I mean, this, in all these cases, look, this guy down in Texas, right? And all of us, can feel horrible about these shootings. All of us can feel great loss for the victims of this tragedy. But the tragedy is perpetrated not by legal gun owners, okay? Wanting to legally possess firearms. It is perpetrated by a government that doesn't do any meaningful enforcement. Everybody knew this guy was a whack job. Okay, we all saw that. We've seen the reports. The guy was a complete nut job, and the government did nothing about it. He made multiple threats to do multiple things, and yet, yeah, they just Donald. They just keep tacking on more laws they ain't gonna follow. And he's not even talking about well, they are criminals because they're the criminals in Washington D.C. Please do smash that like. Look, people, we have a slew of. I think there's is it 13? No, 13 was the number of amendments Joe Biden, which by the way, I told you wasn't going anywhere at the World Health Organization. Okay, it didn't. Okay. And World Health, they all had to like pull that back because other countries didn't want to join. And by the way, isn't it interesting to note that we were saved from overreach by the World Health Organization? It never would have happened in America anyways. It would have gone through courts and it would have been outed, like I had said. But we were saved by all these countries we're told are so bad, like Iran and Russia and a number of others. Brazil, I know, said, hey, we're just going to pull out of the WHO and so on. So this is, everything's upside down. Everything that's supposed to be good is bad and bad is good. And that's what's going on. And by the way, I'm not participating. I didn't even know they had a whole month for this thing in June. I'm not even going to mention what it is. You guys all know because they got little symbols everywhere. Whether it's the National Guard, the Marines running bullets of multicolors in a helmet. And I can't. Our military on wokeism. My friend in the Minnesota National Guard just sent me that. But again, they have it all wrong because they have a 6-colored rainbow. And the rainbow, just never forget, is the sign of the Noahic covenant, and God will not be mocked. It says so in his word. God will not be mocked. Okay? Just remember, and I posted a little thing about this on a community post, but remember Waukesha, right? And Darrell Brooks, and how he offed so many people with a vehicle. Were they looking to ban vehicles? Did they want to categorize that as a hate crime? Okay. And the only reason I bring this up is even people who are pretty well grounded can see tragedies like this and feel that we need this crazy response to solve the problem. Okay. But that's not what needs to occur. We don't need to enforce laws on law-abiding citizens. We don't need to make new laws for them. We have plenty of laws on the books. We actually need to eliminate a lot of laws. Okay, we do, Patty, have a sin problem, and it is all this wokeism is just a 77 million Americans are on psychotropic drugs. People, 77 million Americans are some form of psychotropic drug. If you look into the history of all these school shootings, the vast bulk of them, and it might be all of them, I can't remember, I've read up on this before and I don't have all those figures in front of me right now, but I will tell you that the vast majority of them were kids on some form of antidepressant or Adderall or some sort of anti-ADHD and so on. The real problem is we don't deal with sin in this country. We actually encourage it. And then we prescribe them medications. I my good friend Marcus, you guys all know Marcus D, who used to do a lot more podcasting than he does now, but still gets on the band reunions with us. It took some other work and had a third kid. But I just, Marcus and I were talking the other day, and he's working at a restaurant, and there was a thunderstorm going on, and one of the employees just left work. Oh my gosh, I can't take it, the thunderstorm. People aren't able to handle anything because they've been coddled so much. We have enabled their inability to cope with anything real. But you need to get on the horn today. I just called my congressman, but you need to let him know that you're opposed to all these gun grabbing schemes. They want to raise the age of ownership of guns. There has been a trend in this country. Now, hear me on this. Thanks, Lisa. I see that. Lisa sent me a picture the other day of her dog on the pet bed for my pillow. My dogs fight over the my pillow. I had two pet beds, and one was my pillow and one was another one, and they fight over the my pillow bed. They want the my pillow pet bed. It's so funny. Anyways, go get one. mypillow.com, promo code lumberjack. You will save up to 66%. Okay, lumberjack. I use lumberjack for every promo code, for Revere Coffee, for all of it. Okay, all the links are in the description. All right, but where was I? Help me out here now. I was talking about the Lisa, you distracted me. Talking about the enablement of idiocy. Perfectly normal till parents put them on mental drugs. That's interesting, Catfish. We have this problem with enabling sin, okay? And all this is just set up as a gun grab. It is completely garbage. If they were serious about it, they wouldn't say, "Oh, here's a gun-free zone. Welcome all criminals with guns." Okay, that wouldn't be how schools were run. I'm sure you guys, some of you probably saw this, but they had the security systems in schools, which are $400,000 a piece, which do all types of things. Okay, and yes, that's expensive, $400,000, but you could put that in every school. Okay, every school in the nation, and the cost was somewhere around $50 billion. Coincidentally, that's the amount of aid we sent to Ukraine. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I did call my legislator. I called who's not all that great. Okay, but somebody mentioned, I know where I was going with that. The whole idea of it being a sin problem. We continually enable through these rainbow things and all of that, and then we're surprised when we tell people that life doesn't begin at conception, that Dr. Noble, whatever Urari or whatever he is from the World Economic Forum, says free will is over, you're hackable animals. And then we wonder why people don't think and value life as much, put them on violent video games, and then constantly say that guns are the problem. I mean, all my kids know how to use guns. All my kids have never. It's so silly. Gun safety is teaching people. I mean, you could constantly go back to the model of Switzerland, where everybody has to go in the military and they own guns and all of this, and they have to keep one at home in their locker in their neutral country, and they have low crime rates. I just watched an amazing thing. I don't know if you guys all remember, there was a thing in 1989 in Tacoma, Washington, where these Crips were running in the streets and being violent and drugs and all that. And then some Army Rangers took them on. And it changed everything. There was this big shootout, massive shootout. And what happened as a result of that was policing changed, because they were all up in this community policing and not really enforcing crime laws that were there. And it really changed everything. And probably the single greatest incident to get policing back on track out there. And obviously now you can see that Washington has gone way off the deep end again. It is hard to hold the nonsense at bay, but we have got to call our representatives. And people say, well, it doesn't matter. It actually does. I mean, I don't. For every person that calls, they think so many people feel the same way. For every person that in politicians are still human beings that deal with pressure. So if we're not the ones calling and the other side is, they're going to cave to that pressure. you have to, I understand. I understand the frustration. I understand all of it, but we need to call our elected representatives, okay? Not our leaders. They're just elected representatives. They're not, they're disqualified of leadership. These people, most of them are so pathetic. But they are our elected representatives, and they do have, a vote of 1 of 100 instead of a vote of 1 of 350 million. Okay, so just understand that. I had a 410 over under before a BB gun. I shot my first grouse with a 410. Those are great guns. I still have that single shot bolt action 410. But they try and make guns this scary thing, and obviously if you're facing down the barrel of a gun, that's a scary thing. But guns in and of themselves are not this big scary thing. Um, what's scary? Our country falling into the abyss of wokeism. Our country falling into the abyss of stupidity. Our country falling into the abyss of not respecting our Constitution. Okay, that's what's scary. Guns are not. Okay, Malone LeVay, understood, Karen. Uh, I just had to share this. I mean, I don't have a bunch of clips for you and all that kind of stuff, but the Second Amendment is so vitally important, and we need to understand, because even well-intentioned people who are pretty well grounded can have events like this happen and go, oh my gosh, we've got to do something. Well, the something we need to do isn't the answers they're giving us. Okay? There is something that needs to happen. We need to actually protect our kids in school. We need to prosecute gun criminals. Not gun criminals that they're trying to make up who own guns that all of a sudden they want to outlaw, but real gun criminals who are committing crimes with guns. Okay? That's the deal. Okay? And that's where we need to make the changes. Okay? There's so much going on in the world, people, and I want to share something with you, because how do I say this? So I have felt a certain amount of tension inside of me, okay? And too much so. And I listened to a sermon, and somebody said, those that focus on the mainstream media more than the Word of God, all hopelessness is self-inflicted. So I want to encourage you guys to do something. I'm going to give you a homework assignment today. Read Psalm 37. Okay? God will not be mocked. I know you see a lot of injustice. The Sussman trial, I mean, what a bunch of crap. Okay? But God will not be mocked. He will not be mocked. He will not be mocked. I want you to remember that. I want you to read Psalm 37. You're going to get a lot of hope out of it. I'm going to encourage all my listeners to spend a little more time in the Word, because that's what I'm going to be doing. Again, I told you the World Health Organization thing wasn't going to go anywhere, and a lot of people were very worked up about that. Do not respond to everything these globalist freaks try to throw out at you, okay? Stand firm on the word of the Lord. Understand that blessed is the man who walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on it he meditates day and night. He shall be like a tree planted by rivers of water, that brings forth its fruit in its season. Whatsoever he does shall prosper. Okay? That is a promise from God. Okay? It's not so with the wicked. They are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Hold on to that. That's Psalm 1. You go to the 23rd Psalm, right? The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. I mean, The ending to that too is, I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Forever. That's our promises, okay? Whatever happens here on earth is so minimal to the promises we have in heaven, okay? It is everything. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and be in good health. Okay? Not to, people, it is all over. You know, he heals all our diseases. All. Jesus heals all our diseases. I just read a great book. Oh, do I have that handy? Give me 1 second, people. I'm gonna show you something. Okay. Sorry, I had to run and get it, but here it is. It's called Beyond Belief, Journey to a Miracle. And it's by this guy, Jeff Sislow. Jeff is a real estate agent in the Twin Cities, and I knew him. I used to sell Peak Performers. It was personal professional development seminars. I read his book. He was basically told by the doctors he would die time and time again. He had something, he had no bone marrow. I can't remember what the disease is called, but he had no bone marrow, right? And they told him, you know, you're going to die. And he had these verses. And I don't know if you guys want to stick around, I'm going to go through these with you because I just want you, our focus, my focus has to change. I'm going to tell you this. All right. I'm going to tell you what happened. So I have been having some chest pains. Now it's not heart. Okay. It's not that. Okay. So I just want you to understand this. But I actually went to the hospital. I never go to the hospital, people. I never go. All right? I just don't because I'm always healthy. You guys see me. I mean, if you watch my other channel, Neil the North, I elk hunt. I go to the Boundary Waters. I hike up and down my driveway with a pack. I eat very healthy. This morning I just had an omelet with vegetables and eggs. Okay, I pursue health. All right, but I've been having this, and it was pretty severe. Okay, and I went into urgent care, and they did an X-ray. Unfortunately, you know, like my back's had a lot of pain. I have got so much tension, tightness throughout my body, and it's wrapping around into my chest. Now they did see a spot of something, okay, and it was about this, right, like the size of my thumb, like this, you know, from the joint, okay, to the end. Here, none of them knew what it was. And my you know, so the X-ray tech, I don't know what that is, and the doctor didn't know what it was, and so I told my kids, you know, okay, kids, I got to tell you, I've been going through these pains, and I went in, and they saw this, but nobody knows what it is. I said, I don't know, you know, and my kid Jeremiah, he's so awesome. He goes, really, 8 years of school, and they can't tell you what it is. This is our medical profession today. So I tell you this because I want you to know, folks, you're not going to see as much of me. There are things I have let slip in my life. Okay. You know, stick around, you know, stay subscribed, and I'll just, you know, I'll be back, but I got to take some time off. Okay. Make sense? Is everybody, can you just allow me that? Okay. I know I get all these comments, hey, where are you at? And all this stuff. That's where I'm at. I'm dealing with stuff, and I had to move my mom from Kansas. It was very hard. She's got cancer. She's not doing well. And there's other things too. I just won't get into. Okay. But just so you know, but I want to read you these miracle verses that he, had. Consider it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance, and let endurance have its perfect result, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. James 1, 2 through 4. Okay? Therefore, humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you at the proper time, casting all your anxiety upon him, because he cares for you. He cares for you. He cares for me. He cares for you. Okay? After you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ, will himself perfect, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. Think about that. He will perfect, confirm, strengthen, and establish. For the word of God is living and active and sharper than any two-edged sword, and piercing as far as the division of soul and spirit, both joints and marrow, and able to judge the thoughts and intentions of the heart. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and rescue them. The righteous cry, and the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their troubles. All, do you see these encompassing words? Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for calamity, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11, people, you can cling to that. My son, give attention to my words. Incline your ear to my sayings. Do not let them depart from your sight. Keep them in the midst of your heart, for they are life to those who find them, and health to all their whole body. Beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal among you, which comes upon you for your testing. Okay? As though some strange thing were happening to you, but the degree you share in the sufferings of Christ, keep on rejoicing, so that also at the revelation of his glory you may rejoice with exultation. That's out of 1 Peter. Therefore I say to you, all things for which you pray and ask, believe that you have received them, and they will be granted you. Whatever you ask in my name, that will I do, that your Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask me anything in my name, I will do it. If you abide in me, my words abide in you. Ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. For we walk by faith and not by sight. For God hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Therefore, do not throw away your confidence, which has great reward. For you have need of endurance, so that when you have done the will of God, you may receive what was promised. Okay, and these are all promises. Okay, whatever is going on down here, this world is not our home. Okay, I'm not saying don't be involved. God darn, you people know that. Okay, you know that. Thank you, Donald. You know that. But our promises are so much greater than this world. But he doesn't leave us alone down here. Okay? There's another verse. I've never seen the righteous begging for bread. Okay? So I just want you to know there's just so many promises, so much. But this was a great book. I'm actually going to go get together with him for lunch, because whatever this is, it's on my right side. It's just so it's a little bit debilitating, and for a guy who relies on his strength so much, it's very troubling. So it's just something I need to resolve, and I need to slow my life down just a little bit and take care of things. And there's a lot I need to do with my kids. So I just want you all to know that that's where I'm at. Again, make sure you're on locals and following over on locals, because I do make just posts over there. And if you go in my top 5 pinned posts, there is an interview from Georgia, and there's a lot of great follows that are over on locals that really do great coverage, okay, of a lot of things that are very important, okay? So anyways, I love y'all. Stay strong in your faith. It's not always easy. This world is not easy. It's just not, okay? I just want to make sure whoever tells you it is just selling something, okay? They're just selling things. To hold on to your faith is not easy in the light of all that goes on. Please do support the sponsors. They support the show. That's Revere Coffee Company. That's My Patriot Supply. All the links are below in the description. And thank you so much for listening. All right. I love you all. Peace out.